Good morning, everyone, or if it's afternoon where you are, good afternoon. I'm really happy to be here today, and I want to share something very simple yet very powerful with you. Stay grounded. When I say stay grounded, I don't mean you have to sit on the floor with your legs crossed and chant some ancient mantra. No, I mean stay connected to reality, stay humble, and most importantly, stay focused on your own growth without getting distracted by noise around you. You see, in life, people love to talk, and I do mean love. People talk about your ideas, your mistakes, your successes, your failures, your haircut last week, even your lunch. And if you are not careful, all that talking can lift you into the clouds, and not in a good way. Let me explain. When you hear people constantly telling you how amazing you are, it is very easy to believe them. Suddenly, you are walking around with your chest puffed up, thinking you're some kind of superhero. But stay grounded, my friend. The truth is, the world doesn't care about your ego, it cares about your results. And here is a funny truth. The bigger your ego grows, the smaller your brain feels. I've seen this happen so many times. People get excited because of one small success, and suddenly they think they are the second coming of Steve Jobs. Next thing you know, they stop learning, stop listening, stop improving. That is why staying grounded is like having a secret superpower. While everyone else is busy bragging and showing off, you are quietly learning, quietly improving, quietly building something real. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Jack, but I need to talk about my ideas, I need to network, I need to promote myself. Yes, I understand. But there is a difference between sharing your vision and being loud for the sake of being loud. One makes you grow, the other makes you look silly. Imagine a tree. A tree does not shout that it's growing taller, it just grows. Slowly, steadily, day by day, rain or shine, it grows. And then one day when people look around, they say, wow, that is a big tree. But the tree, it doesn't care. The tree just keeps growing. That is exactly how you should approach your life, your work, your dreams. Stay silent, stay humble, focus on your growth, and trust me, when your growth becomes visible, people will notice without you even needing to shout. Now, I also want to give you a very practical reason to stay grounded. Focus. The world today is noisy. Social media, news, WhatsApp, Instagram, LinkedIn, everyone wants your attention. If you spend too much time looking at other people's lives, comparing yourself, responding to every comment, worrying about every rumor, you are going to lose your energy. You are going to scatter your mind. And let me tell you something. Creativity, growth, big ideas, they require energy and focus. Let me share a story, a slightly funny one. I once knew a young entrepreneur who wanted to be famous overnight. Every day, he was posting inspirational quotes on social media, taking pictures with everyone he could meet, going to every networking event. But he never actually finished his product. His energy was everywhere except where it mattered. And guess what? 3 years later, he had no product, no customers, and a very full Instagram page. That is why staying grounded is not just a nice idea. It is survival. Now, staying grounded does not mean you should be boring. No. Life is too short for that. You can laugh, you can celebrate, you can enjoy your journey, but don't let external validation become your guide, because external validation is like eating candy. Sweet but empty. It tastes good now, but it doesn't give you real energy. Real energy comes from learning, growing, creating, and improving yourself. And here's something funny I have noticed. People who stay grounded are often mistaken for being weak or slow or shy. But in reality, they are the strongest people. They have patience. They have vision. They have self-control. You see, noise is easy. Anyone can shout, argue, or post a viral TikTok. But to stay silent, to stay disciplined, to focus quietly on your own path, that takes real courage. I want you to remember this. Silence is not empty. It is full of potential. every moment you spend quietly learning, improving, reflecting, that is your growth compounding. Just like money in a bank account, except this is a growth account that pays interest in skills, ideas, and wisdom. And one day when you open that account, you will see, wow, I am far ahead of everyone who was busy shouting. Now, I also want to talk about humility. Staying grounded is about humility. And humility is funny in life because it often disguises itself as weakness. People think, if I stay quiet, nobody will notice me. But in fact, the opposite is true. People will notice you when your results speak for themselves. Here is a simple example. Imagine two students. One student always talks in class, trying to impress the teacher, showing off knowledge he just memorized. The other student listens, asks smart questions, studies hard, and quietly improves. 10 years later, who do you think is more successful? Yes, often the quiet one, because he was focused on growth, not applause. Staying grounded also means controlling your emotions. Life will test you. People will criticize you, ignore you, or even try to sabotage you. And here's the funny part. Some people get so angry, so offended, that they immediately shout back or react. But if you stay grounded, you smile, stay calm, and focus on your work. You save your energy for the battles that matter. Let me tell you something very real. Life is like a boxing ring. You cannot fight everyone at the same time. If you try, you will get tired, beaten, and frustrated. But if you stay grounded, choose your fights wisely, and focus on your own training, you will eventually win the championship. And sometimes the funniest thing is that the people who were shouting the loudest, they end up exhausted, tired, and sitting in the corner while you are calmly building your empire. Now, let me also share one of my favorite tricks for staying grounded, and this one is funny too. Whenever I feel proud or start thinking I am too smart, I go talk to someone younger, someone less experienced than me, but in a way that humbles me. For example, I listen to how they solve problems in new ways or how they understand technology faster than I do. It is a reminder, no matter how high you fly, there is always someone with fresh wings. And here is the kicker. The higher you fly, the more invisible growth becomes. People only notice the flashy stuff, the awards, the recognition, the headlines, but your real growth, it is invisible, quiet, inside your skills, your patience, your knowledge, and those who understand that, those who keep working quietly, are the ones who succeed long term. Let me tell you something else funny. Many entrepreneurs think success comes from talking to the right people. Yes, connections are important, but if you are constantly talking, selling, promoting yourself, you are not actually learning, not actually growing, not actually creating value. Value comes first. Results come first. Talking comes later. And here is a very important point. Staying grounded is also about knowing who you are. Many people spend their lives trying to impress others because they are unsure of themselves. They want approval, likes, followers, applause. But if you truly know yourself, if you know your strengths, your weaknesses, your dreams, then you don't need approval. You just need growth. Think about it. When you are a tree, the tree doesn't care if someone compliments it. It just grows. When you are a river, the river doesn't care if anyone watches it flow. It just flows. And when you are a human, why should you care what everyone thinks? Focus on your path. Focus on your growth. That is real freedom. I also want to talk about patience. Staying grounded requires patience. Growth does not happen overnight. I know everyone wants quick results. Quick success, quick recognition. But the truth is, success is like cooking a slow stew. If you rush it, it will be raw, tasteless, and maybe inedible. But if you let it cook slowly, carefully, with the right ingredients, the result is delicious and unforgettable. And here's a funny observation. The louder someone is about their success, the less confident they usually are about it. But those who are quiet, they are quietly confident. They don't need to announce every win on social media. They just focus on creating the next win. Let me also remind you that staying grounded is about learning from everyone, even those you might think are less important. I learned a lot from people who washed my windows, served my food, or even ignored me when I walked by. They taught me lessons about humility, persistence, and humanity. And sometimes the funniest lessons come from the strangest places. Now, I want to give you a few practical tips to stay grounded. Spend more time listening than talking. The world is full of chatter, but growth comes from understanding, not noise. Focus on one skill at a time. Don't scatter your energy. Depth beats breadth in life. Celebrate quietly. You can be proud of your wins, but don't make it a show. Remember, the tree doesn't shout that it is taller today. Reflect daily. Take 10 minutes at the end of each day to think, did I grow today? Did I learn something? Did I focus on what matters? Avoid unnecessary comparisons. Someone else's journey is not your journey. Stay in your lane, work on your skills, and let results speak. Surround yourself with people who ground you, friends who are humble, hardworking, and wise. They will remind you to stay focused. Laugh at yourself. Life is too short to take yourself too seriously. If you make a mistake, laugh, learn, and move on. And one last funny thought. Staying grounded may sometimes make you look boring, slow, or invisible, but that is okay, because when everyone else is burning out, getting distracted, or lost in noise, you will quietly be ahead, stronger and wiser. So, my friends, I want you to leave here today with one mission. Stay grounded. Stay humble. Stay focused on your growth. Stay silent when it matters. Let your work, your skills, and your patience speak louder than words. Remember this, the loudest person in the room is not always the smartest, the fastest person is not always the strongest, and the one with the most followers is not always the wisest. True power lies in patience, humility, discipline, and silent, steady growth. I promise you, if you can master this simple art of staying grounded, the world will notice you, not because you shouted the loudest, but because your work, your results, your skills, your ideas will speak for themselves. And when that happens, when you have built something real, you can look back and laugh at all the noise you ignored, all the distractions you avoided, and all the shallow applause you did not chase. Because in the end, staying grounded is not just a strategy, it is a lifestyle. So grow quietly, laugh often, learn constantly, and let the world catch up to you. And one day people will look at you and wonder, how did they do it? And you will just smile quietly, nod, and say, I stayed grounded. Thank you.